So we're back, Jen. It's been a few weeks. How you been?
Been pretty good. Take some
Yeah,
time off. We went to the beach.
we
So,
did. We did. So welcome back to the Slide podcast. It's been a few weeks, and I think probably the last time that you may have heard from us, we were on TV. So and then
oh
we had a, we
yeah.
had a, we had an episode released that following Sunday. Kind of caught me by surprise, but that was fun though, wasn't it? We were on TV. That was the first
Yep.
time
And
I
it,
was on TV.
it really wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. They made us feel very at home and comfortable, and it
Yeah.
went really well, I thought.
I thought so too. And normally, for those of you listening, I normally don't even listen back to these episodes because my voice drives me crazy. So I wouldn't even let myself watch that video. And I finally broke down that night. I think it was the Friday night. And I watched it and I'm like, I didn't sound that bad. So
Nah.
normally I just hear all the country come out in my accent. So we've had a lot going on, and we definitely want to make sure that we spend a minute or two. We had a huge loss in our community, and I wouldn't even say necessarily the impact is just Bowling Springs, South Carolina. I think it's growing to a national thing. So, Jen, you want to tell us what happened?
Yeah, so there's a kid in the community named Brentley, and he was involved in a car accident last week and tragically passed away.
Yeah.
So he was part of the BSYAA, which is Bowling Springs Youth Athletic Association, as a recreational athlete, and then he played for the Blue Jays as a travel organization. His mom, sweet person, she's helped us out a lot. Colton, my son, has had like allergy trouble. He had tubes and stuff, and Cassie, Brentley's mom, works at the ENT that we were going to. So that's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
we Colton, my son, played with Brentley, I think maybe six and under, so a couple
Mm-hmm.
years ago. And then, like I said, we followed through with the ENT doctor and got to see Cassie a couple times. So sweet family. He was a he was a firecracker. Brentley
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Well, I didn't have the pleasure of getting to see Brantley play or getting to high five him or anything, but I spent this previous week in Louisville, Kentucky for a business meeting, but I read so much. And, even without knowing this kid, you can feel how much he truly impacted, the community. And it's pretty crazy. It's not a fun thing that we are going through, but this
Mm-mm.
is a little bit of part of life, unfortunately. And I think we should all be a little bit jealous of where he's at right now. So
Well, speaking of, the Blue Jays had a tournament this weekend, and there was a memorial service because the Blue Jays were playing. And
mhm.
from what I could gather on Facebook, it looked like a bunch of the kids actually were saved at this memorial service. Like they gave their
No
hearts over
way.
to, yeah. So
Wow, that's
that was a
awesome.
pretty big deal. Yep.
Well, stay tuned and stay connected with us a little bit here on the slide. We've got a few things in the works that we hope to be bringing to our community. So, on in honor of Brentley. So, but now we're shifting gears a little bit, and we'll join you right back with our surprise guest. So, Jen, I haven't told anyone who our guests are, which is I do this every time. Is
They're gonna see it.
I
Yeah.
anticipate there's this big surprise and reveal, and when in reality it just says in the subject, I'm going to write the title and I'm going to tell everybody who it is. So, thank you. We have got the Wolf family joining us, the Wolf Pack. So, Matt
Hello.
Wolf and Megan Wolf. How are you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
We're great.
How are you, babe? I
So, if you don't know this name and you've watched, actually, I don't think it's possible that you don't know this name and you've watched Banana Land. But if you're familiar with the Savannah Bananas, Matt Wolf is the trick pitcher, the rodeo clown that comes out on the mound, even drops his pants in the middle of the game sometimes. And we are
That's a
joined by
real
our,
crowd pleaser.
that's right.
yeah.
And our main guest today was Megan Wolf. So Megan had the opportunity to go out on the mound and throw and strike out a batter during a professional baseball game. So,
Yeah.
and I remember watching that game, and I text you as soon as I was done watching that game, and I'm like, I need you on the show. This is so amazing. So
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Well, I talk too much.
Me too. This is going to get long.
We're going to let you guys talk a little bit. So Megan, you had your opportunity to pitch in a professional baseball game, right?
Yes.
So let's go back to like where it all started for you. Not with Savannah Bananas, but I understand you played softball in college, right?
I did. So
Okay.
I started playing softball when I was 9 and got competitive pretty quickly, and was fortunate enough to play in college.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on scholarship at Oklahoma City University,
Okay.
which is a little NAIA school. We were national runner-up my junior year, so that would have been 2012. And then that was kind of the end of my dream, playing wise. I was going to go on to be a sports reporter. And then I realized I don't watch enough sports to talk about it for a living.
Yeah.
So I did some other things, and that's like a whole other story. So
Yeah.
flash forward to the Bananas. I had no intention of playing, right? Like, I'm just here to support him and be his helpmate and take care of Rayleigh. And we were out there playing catch, like we always do, but it caught people's attention because there was a girl out there and the glove was still popping. So they asked if I wanted to get in a game, and I was like, if you're serious, I'm serious. Like, let's do it.
So Matt, how did you take that? Because I understand, like Jesse came out on the field, and it got everybody's attention, and Jesse was out there, right?
Right. I was excited for her, because she's the reason really why I did this whole thing.
Yeah.
She's the one that encouraged me to go to the tryout. And like she says, we've always played catch in the backyard. She didn't really exactly know how to go about pitching, but yeah, once we heard that there might be a possibility, I went ahead and kind of taught her the wind up a little bit, or a simplified version of it. Started working on a few pitches, and just kind of kept our fingers crossed and hope it would happen, because
and then he struck the batter out, right?
Yeah, that was unbelievable, because my only goal was don't hit someone and let them hit it.
Right.
That was my only goal.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was able to strike someone out was pretty close to a miracle.
So my dream growing up was to be an MLB player. I think most kids who love baseball, that's our dreams. Obviously, it didn't work out for me, and I've said this multiple times because I'm sitting right here in this chair. So, like, what's it like to walk? I mean, I can ask Matt this, and we'll get to Matt in a second. But like, for you, what was it like to walk out there in Columbus with like 4,500 people like watching you?
It was awesome. Like, having that experience from being a collegiate athlete, and just being back under the lights. Mm-hmm. Was awesome. Like, that night games were always my favorite. So It was just really an amplified version of that. And Kyle Lewiggs told me before I went out there, he was like, I know, like, it's a lot, but when you get out there, just take a moment and take it all in.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to forget this. And so I did. I went out there, and you can see they show it in Banana Land. I'm like nervous as crap looking around, and I just take a deep breath and like, okay. So I've got it burned into my memory. I mean, it's beautiful. And then, from there, it just kind of, everything melted away, and it became a moment between me and my husband, just playing catch and, letting go of everything that had culminated in the world tour and everything, all of our worries and cares. And I was like, it's just us right now. It was really cool.
That's like a story. I mean, that's
that's
a Hollywood storybook ending right there.
Yeah.
So after rewind. Hold on one second. After the first pitch, did your mentality switch from like, I don't want to hit him, but did it switch to like, now I'm going to strike him out? Like, did it switch to like, let me get him now?
Actually, yes. So I got 5 warm-up pitches, and every one of them was right down the middle. And I was like, oh, I may be onto something here. So then, and then Breland, he got a pretty hard hit, and I was like, okay, I've been humbled again.
Right.
So rewind back to like before the Bananas, you said that you supported him and like his tryout and stuff like that. So tell me, like, were you guys high school sweethearts? Did you meet in college? Like, go back a little bit farther and talk about
Well,
that.
you guys aren't in Savannah either. So let's go back and tell our listeners, where are you guys located?
So we're in Oklahoma City. So that's where our
Okay,
love
gotcha.
story started. I'm actually from Dallas,
Okay.
and he's from
Oh,
Southern
Lord.
Oklahoma.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
I'm sorry?
Are you a Cowboys fan?
Oh, unfortunately, yes.
All right. Look, I'm a Dolphins fan, and we just beat the Bills today, so I'm very happy. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Anyways, all right. So let's go back. You're from Dallas.
So I'm from Dallas, and he's from Southern Oklahoma, and we ended up. I was at OCU, right, playing softball, and he had some buddies that played baseball there, and he would come up. He's 3 years older than me, so he was doing super senior things, and he would come up and kind of hang out with. We ended up having a lot of mutual friends, and it was actually a year after I graduated. So he was already like working. He was teaching and coaching baseball, and he asked me out, and really that was it. I mean, we had already known each other for 4 years, so we dated for.
Did he do some of his trick pitches to get you to go out with him?
Yeah, he did the panty dropper, and I was so.
Oh man, that's classic.
So here we are today. I mean, let's see, we started dating in 2014, so it's been 8 years. We've been in Oklahoma City, and I just saw he's always been very silly and goofy and passionate about baseball, and so when the Bananas came up, he was really tentative because, he's like 10 years older than most of those guys. And but I was like, babe, this would be perfect for you. Like, you've got to at least try it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least try and see what happens. So, yeah,
I mean, who would have ever thought like those skill sets that you would bring to the table, like you would have those written on your resume, like an amazing job at dropping my pants. We're just running that one down in the ground. So,
I've always told everybody I'm pretty good at stuff that don't get you very far in life. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
Now I can't say that anymore because it actually got me somewhere.
It got you somewhere. That's right.
So,
and how old's your daughter?
She's 2. She's 2 and 4 months. So she was not even 2 on the world tour.
Okay. So is she showing some athletic abilities? Is she going to be a baseball or softball player too? Yeah.
She's got the ability to. Whether she will or not, we don't know. But she's pretty quick, and she's strong, and she's fearless. She's fearless. So
like her mama.
Me.
Yeah.
No, like her daddy. He's a thrill seeker. This guy, I mean, he wants to skydive and bungee jump and all that.
No,
I'm scared. I'm a scaredy cat.
I'm not a gambler. That's gambling. That's gambling there. I can't do that. My wife is that way. She'll do about anything. She just likes the adrenaline rush. So
yeah, that's this guy.
So Matt, tell us a little bit about your story. So, I mean, now your occupation currently today, that's not baseball related, right?
Right. I'm currently a firefighter here in Oklahoma City. So
hey,
there you go.
Thank you very much.
There you go again.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the support.
Yeah.
So like she said, thrill seeker. So, I figured the fire department would fit me well. I was a coach for 5 years prior to that, coached high school baseball, actually helped out there at OCU where she graduated for a year, helped with the infielders. Just kind of always been that guy that's just likes to goof off and have fun and juggling and doing tricks, just doing anything to get somebody to laugh, especially when I was out there on the baseball field. That was just kind of my place to decompress and not worry about life and just take it as it comes. So really fortunate that I got to kind of bring that and pick that dream up, 10 years later after playing and getting finished with college baseball. So,
no, where did you play college ball at?
I played at a few different colleges. I started out in Gainesville, Texas, North Central Texas College. That's just a small Division I junior college. Then I transferred to Southeastern Oklahoma State in Durant. Dennis Rodman played there.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
That's where that's kind of what they're known for. A big name that played there. Just a small Division II, and that's kind of close to where I grew up in Sulphur, Oklahoma, Wynnewood, Oklahoma, Joy, Oklahoma. That area, I kind of bounced around Oklahoma, just town to town to town. and ended up finishing up like most of my family at East Central University in Ada.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
Now,
and
were
that's
you a
what she was
pitcher?
talking.
Were
No,
you a pitcher?
actually, I was an infielder. No, I never did pitch. I always wanted to pitch, but did I pitched in high school. I had some opportunities to play some junior college baseball as a pitcher, but my knack was probably infielder. So that's kind of
smoothest and fastest hands on this side of the Mississippi.
Oh, yeah? That's what we
That's a
talk
pretty
a
big
lot
compliment.
about. Yeah. Well,
She's always
yeah.
talking me up.
Well, that's
So
what
Matt,
we tell kids. We tell kids around like, what does it take to get better? And, our audience is generally the younger listeners, the coaches, the parents. And, we talk about just the fundamentals and what it takes just to you don't have to be great. When you're 8 years old, you don't have to be great, but focus on those fundamentals, and that's what'll get you there. Go ahead, Jen. I know I cut you off.
That's okay. No, I was just gonna say, like, kind of going along with what you just pointed out, that there's so much pressure on kids. So, Matt, do you have any tips or tricks, or like, were you just ingrained with being silly, or do you feel like kids can try to get back to really having fun? Because that happens a lot. They get burnt out, or they have too much pressure on them, and then they quit. And so, how can we as coaches, because Coach Aaron and I are both current coaches, like keep it fun for the kids and like pointers for us?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I wish I had a magic potion for all of it, because if we want to be honest, I still struggle with all that stuff as I play with the bananas. As we know, the game of baseball and really all sports, they're mental. The mental side of the game is just as important as the physical side. So, I struggle with performance and, worrying about stuff, worrying about if I'm going to be good enough. Just like, I'm sure kids do in Little League. And that's a lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves, and there's so much pressure from outside sources, coaches, parents, teammates. And, I just try my best to just remind myself this is just a game, and I need to do my best. That doesn't give me an excuse not to do my best, but at the end of the day, I got to be satisfied with just my best, whether that is winning, whether that's losing. It can't be too performance based.
Right.
We can't focus solely on our performance and how it goes. It needs to be something deeper within that. And yeah, it's really difficult to battle those mental battles, but
it really takes the love of the game, like, to get you through those bad times, because we've said this so many times, as baseball's a game of failure. Like, to be successful and to wear that Hall of Fame jacket, essentially you're signing up to say, I'm going to get out 7 out of 10 times. And, I think there's somewhere along the way during Little League, like, that message gets lost, and we start caring too much about statistics and, where my kid stacks up against the next kid. And reality is, if that kid don't have a love for the game, they can't mentally get through that stuff. It's hard, very hard.
And excuse me, I had to remind him a lot on the world tour, because I had never seen him play baseball before. That part of our lives was over by the time that we started dating. So watching him as a player, I had to remind him, like, your identity is in Christ, not in the game.
Right.
Like, who you are as a person has nothing to do with the way that you perform on the baseball field. And so I think that kind of helped center him too. And then I know when I was playing little league, I was, 9. So I think that's older than Little League. I don't know. But my dad was really hard on me, and it's good to be hard on kids, but I think it's also good to remind them that they're good. Like, hey, you're doing a good job, or at least I see you trying hard, or you're being a good teammate, or your energy is great. Like, there's still, even if they're not performing well, there's still so many other aspects to what they're doing that can be complimented, to remind them that it's not just all about your performance.
That's right. Yeah. And I think if you had asked us, why we created this show, it's because there's so many great moments that go on inside those baseball fields that don't get a chance to be celebrated. And, we wanted to give kids an avenue to come on here and, maybe talk about the fact that they're 12 and they just got their very first hit, whatever that is. They may not be that Major League Baseball player, but man, we want to celebrate all of those little small victories because the world needs that right now, honestly. So
yes, for sure.
yeah.
Yep. I think that it would behoove us to have some type of supportive episode about the mental part of the game and how to help kids get through that, because like I've got a boy and a girl. I've got a 9-year-old son that I've always coached, and I've got a 4-year-old daughter. She'll be 5 on Friday, and so she'll be moving from t-ball to softball in the spring. So I haven't coached softball in 13 years. I coached like a 10 and under team 13 years ago, but now I'm going to be coaching her, and it's so different, boys and girls, and there's just as many struggles for a boys team as there is for a girls team. They're just different.
Mhm.
So it's going to be challenging to see her grow up and see her go through all those things, because she's my little girl, and I gotta think about how to handle that stuff, because it's also been a challenge with my son, but just in a different way. So I think an episode talking about that would probably be a good idea, Coach Aaron.
Yeah,
I actually have a really great contact for you guys if you want to do that. We can talk about it after if you want, or I could tell you right now. It doesn't. I mean, neither. But
we've been in contact. I definitely we'll grab that information from you here at the end. But we've been in contact with a few. Jen and I both we have similar stories. I have a 7-year-old. I have a 20-year-old son as well. But my 7-year-old, he struggles with self-confidence, fear of failure. And I've been down the road of making baseball hard. During growing up, it was a challenge for me. I wasn't the best kid on the team, but like my son, I just wanted him to have fun. And, don't get upset when you strike out. The kid finished with one of the best batting averages, according to our coach, last season. But if he struck out and got out once, it would break his heart. And, it's really trying to get him through that. Like, hey, it's okay. It's okay to get out. And, but that it comes back to the bananas. We took him down to the banana game, and man, there's so much going on. He did, honestly, I think banana ball is great for kids. I'm really, really considering pitching this up to the bananas, and nobody out there better steal my idea, but but banana ball for youth. How cool would that be? And even honestly, maybe even I'd like to play banana ball. I'm not professional. I'm not good like that, but man, that would be fun. Get an old league for an old person like me or Jen.
Come on now.
I mean, I'm too old for anything going on, so I would also join that.
Yeah, you guys better practice up on those dance moves if you're going to do that.
You know what? That would be my biggest opportunity, because I am not the selfie guy, and I don't the TikTok things. I'd have to take some lessons from you, Matt. I don't know. So, what was it like going out on tour and having cameras around you at all time, and really your life sort of put out there for everybody?
Oh man, it was nuts for me. I mean, I'm just a small town Oklahoma boy. I mean, it was terrible in speech class. I did my first speech over juggling, matter of fact, in college.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, maybe I won't have to talk much. I can just kind of show them what to do,
Yeah.
So to go from that, and then all of a sudden ESPN cameras in your face. I mean, yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking for me, but it was more than anything. This has been kind of a spiritual journey for me and Megan, behind the scenes of it all. So, I tried my best just to, I don't know, stay grounded and tell our story the best we could, and really give credit where credit's due.
And I think you did. I mean, I would definitely say ESPN did a great job of storytelling, but you guys were the stars of the show. I mean, it was, it was awesome. And you know what was cool about it is we got to see your daughter along with you. So that's the part where you see, and I've talked to a couple of people, Emily and a couple of others from the organization, and it just feels like you guys are one big family, and it's amazing. So
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to the Banana Babes, Lauren and Mandolin,
Yeah,
the other day.
I heard that.
And they
one.
said the same thing. They were like, seeing, you know, like your family, like the Bananas already call themselves a family. So to see like an actual family like integrated into that, like it just feels so right.
Well,
Just feels
even from the outside in, it seems so seamless. Like,
Yeah.
you know, watching that documentary, you know, over those episodes, it truly seemed like you watched Jesse interact with everyone. I'm gonna tell you, it's fun. I want to go to one of those out of the box. I think it is the
those meetings, the over the
OTT
top?
meetings. Yeah, the
Yeah.
over the top meetings. Because I'm
Yeah.
all about that's where my imagination goes right there.
Yeah,
Matt, I'm
it
thinking maybe
really
we
is.
put you in a jetpack in the
I'm
outfield.
down.
Like, I mean,
awesome.
you've seen those jetpacks with like the hydro, like we could, like,
Yeah.
man. And I think there needs to be some storylines. Like, I think we need to incorporate storylines. And so you got a rival on the other team. I think that would be awesome.
Right.
We're
That'd be
thinking
awesome.
of stuff like that too. So yeah,
Like
we
Oh.
always-
WWE,
yeah.
somebody
Oh,
would have
yeah.
like one of those singlet things on.
Hmm.
I'm
Oh,
out
yeah.
on that one.
But, you know, Matt, maybe you should push for maybe, you know, on your off nights, maybe maybe we have a ladies league and a ladies banana ball.
Ooh.
That'd be
So
cool.
I think that would be
Peaches.
awesome.
The peaches.
Hey, that's I was watching
The
I was watching the other night, the League of Their Own, and I was like, I got an idea. Like, hit a ball. Yes.
That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I've been doing here lately. You know, and bananas are all about being creative and you know, coming up with crazy ideas. I've been, you know, obviously my character's a rodeo clown. My dad was a rodeo clown, so that's kind of why I am that. But I've been going to a few rodeos here lately just to kind of get some inspiration from those rodeo clowns. So
Have you ever been in line, or have you been in the sight of a bull, him charging after you?
No. Now Dad has, but not me. No.
Wee.
Yeah. No,
That's
talk about
a
an
bad
adrenaline
day.
rush. Yeah.
I don't know if that's just adrenaline. That's just for the wrong person that may be adrenaline, but for me that would just be like save my life. Oh man. Well, guys, I don't want to take you up much longer than what we've got. Thank you so much for sharing your story, not just with us, but with the world. You know, for all of our listeners out there, if you're playing Little League, you know, the game should be fun. And it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're, you know, playing 6U, you're playing T-ball, or you're playing professional baseball, it should always be fun. And the Bananas are a phenomenal example of, you know, how that should be carried out. So thank you guys so much. Now I got one question for each of you. Now, I always ask this question, but Matt, we're going to go with you first because I'm thinking Megan's going to give us the best answer. But so, all right, outside of the banana world, when you were playing baseball, or if you stepped up to bat today, what would be your walkout song?
Oh man,
she already knows your answer.
Outside today, she doesn't. She hates it. I can already tell you.
Outside today,
you've probably never heard of this song before.
Okay,
It's cross Canadian ragweed, Carney Man.
Cross
Carney
Canadian.
Are you sure that's your
ragweed?
Yeah,
That-
Carney Man.
All right,
It might not be cross Canadian. It's Carney Man is the name of it. But
Carney
we'll look
Man.
it up.
I'm
Look it up.
You know what? We ask that question to everyone on the show, and sometimes, you know, I grew up in the 80s, so I'm an 80s baby, so I love all the hair bands and the spandex and loud music, and hearing some of these kids and even older coaches, it's sometimes a trip. I think we should put together a playlist for all of these songs. Yeah.
And Spotify.
All right, so that one's, I'm definitely looking that one up. All right, Megan, what do you got?
I think mine would, I'm actually like really into, I don't listen to it anymore. I'm like mostly Christian music, Christian and country now, but I really like rap and R&B is my vibe. But actually for my walk up, I think I would go Skillet. Have you guys heard of Skillet?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's Hero.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the beginning there's like that violin solo, something.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the beat drops and it's good. It gets me going. Yeah. But it's the beginning part of the instrumental part of Hero by Skillet.
Oh, I love to see she's already thinking about like when the beat drops and when the adrenaline's going to start and what that's going to be like walking up to the plate. That's pretty awesome.
That's when my pants drop.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey, you know, we're going to end on that one. It's too good not to. So thank you guys very much for hopping on with us. And for everyone out there, we're going to be very busy over the next week or two. Megan, we're actually doing our first episode that's going to be dedicated to softball. So we've spent almost 20 episodes now that's been just solely focused on Little League Baseball and the baseball players. And so now we're shifting over to, we're going to do a special episode with softball. And Bella Dayton from Texas is our big special guest for that episode. So
Awesome.
maybe we'll have you
so
come back. And
excited.
yeah.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
love to come back if you guys
Yeah.
ever have me again. This has been awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So we're busy. So if you're listening out there, I know it's been a few weeks before we put out something new, but get ready because we've got quite a list of interviews coming up that's going to be amazing. So we'll talk to you guys later. And until then, we'll catch you on the slide.